All right, welcome back. Welcome back to the Kendra Crump Show, aka the HNIC, because I am the head nigga in charge. Put some respect on my name. All right, so today I have a special guest. Like, it's not too often that I'm able to get these special guests, but every now and again, you know, it's all because of God. That's all I can say. It's always because of God. I'm able to get somebody who's out there, you know, with a black card out there who your baby daddy's always hating on because they better than that next person, you know, out there because this is a billionaire I'm talking to who I got on with me now. All right, so this next special guest, his debut album, Back of My Lack, and y'all should already know who this is. And if you don't, you too young to be listening to this, okay? I just want to let y'all know. All right, Back of My Lack feature his songs like Bed and Suffocate, which every time that song comes on, I sing my heart out, which, you know, I'm sure some birds are dead listening to me sing. But anyway, the next album he had was Round 2, his second album, which had a hit song called It's Yours. And now he is currently back on the scene. He's trying to bring R&B back. Okay, real R&B, not this auto-tune crap that y'all got going on, okay? And you guys can say something to me, all right? You already know what time it is. All right, I got Jay Holiday.
What's up? What's up? I like the intro. I like that. We're gonna get to it.
Listen, I had to put some sauce on it. Did you like that barbecue, that honey mustard, that ranch all up in it?
You know, you gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? And you said it right. You know, 'tis the season to not be a hater, man. You know, so it's just you know, just let the haters hate and just keep doing your thing. You know what I'm saying?
No, of course, and that is one thing when you're actually going after your dreams and your goals, that you will have to really deal with that. And let me ask you this question: when it came with, how did you deal well with and came with haters? Like, did it get to you, or you always it was always instilled in you to not allow that to bother you?
Well, you know what? It's funny because I know a lot of people don't look at it like this because, you know, people let hate get to them. Mm-hmm. But it's like haters and when it comes to the theory of things, haters are really they're your biggest fans.
They are.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, they're just like, you know, or whatever. You know, it's just like they're really your biggest fans. And it's just like jumping out to do your dream isn't easy for everybody. Everybody doesn't have the courage to do that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's just them hating on the fact that you had the courage to do it.
That's real.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe hating on the fact that maybe you came out with an idea and you bust off your idea first, and they kind of had the same idea but just didn't have the courage to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, man, you can't let the haters have no leeway. All you gotta do is just love your haters. Because the haters gonna hate, you know what I'm saying? That's what they always say, haters gonna hate. So it is what it is.
Of course. And I know, you know, with you growing up in D.C., did you have a lot of people to support you? Was your family pretty supportive of your dream? Or they were like, no, don't do that, you know, find something else to do? Like, what was that like growing up for you in D.C. and everything?
Well, you know what I'm saying? My mom is my biggest supporter. And what's crazy is she's a minister, you know. She's an ordained minister. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I thought she was going to be the one that was like, nah, don't, you know, like, you're going to have the people in the church looking at me crazy. And her biggest thing was, because I wanted to do it long before I got out of high school. I could have been one of those star entertainers, like the kid entertainers, but my mom wasn't having it. She said, you can do whatever you want to do after you finish high school. Mm-hmm. Her main thing was getting me through high school, finish high school, get that, and then you could do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Just finish high school. So I did that. I did what she said, and then I went ahead, full steam ahead, and just chased my dream. You know what I mean?
And so you mentioned, you know, that's one thing we both have in common. You know, both of our parents. My mother's an evangelist, and so, you know, It was always church 3 times a week, and I'm like, you know,
boy, oh my goodness. Sunday, Wednesdays, and what? Saturday sometimes?
Yeah, Friday could be Saturday, all day long. And I'm like, I don't think, like, can I take a break? I'm hungry. Why is church like 5-6 hours like later? Guys, I want to go and play, you know. And
I gotta go to Bible study.
Exactly.
I was at church for 3 services on Sunday. Why I gotta go to Bible study?
Did you sing in the choir, or did you get your first start with singing like in the choir? Or where'd you get like really your first start and stuff?
No, sir. I told my mom. So my mom, she used to go around and preach. So my older sister sang, and she would always, you know how the preachers do. They come up and they always wanted some kind of song or selection before they start preaching.
Mm-hmm.
So she would always call on my sister, and my sister liked doing it. I don't know, she just liked singing, period. So it didn't matter if it was gospel, secular, whatever. She just liked singing, so she would do it. Then my sister got older and moved out, so she wasn't around. And of course, I'm still in the church, so I told my mom, I said, "Don't call me up there." When she found out I could sing, I said, "Don't call me up there. I'm gonna embarrass you. I'm not coming. I'm not coming up." Because I knew at the time I'm in the streets. I'm rocking out. You know what I mean? So
okay.
I just felt a certain kind of way of being phony in the church. You know what I'm saying? I always had an issue with that. I didn't want to be singing on Sunday and then just being a heathen and fornicating all week. You know what I'm saying? Like I took the values instilled in me very seriously. So I just never sung in the church. That was just never my thing. I never really wanted to sing gospel. That just wasn't the way I wanted to go. You know what I mean? I wanted to get to the ladies.
Of course. Oh, listen, you know some of the biggest freaks are in the church. In the church, you know that, right?
Hey, don't tell the secrets. What is wrong with you? Come on, man.
I mean, well, I was in the church, so I know. Anyway, listen, that's not the. Anyway. So let me ask you this question: when did you know God was real for you? Not what Mama said, not what the church said, maybe even Grandma. When did you have that realization? Like, you know what, God, you are real. When was that moment for you?
I could give you the specific moment. I was about 12. I was about 12 years old, and it was me, my mom, my two sisters, and at the time my niece who just graduated from law school. So this is years ago. She just graduated from law school, and at this time she's about maybe 9, 10. Why is my dog barking so much? She's maybe about 9, 10 months old. You know what I'm saying? And we all in the car, so she's just screaming at the top of her lungs. I'm in the front seat. My two sisters in the back seat. She's in the car seat. My sister just kept saying, just let me take her out. Because we literally like maybe 5 minutes from the house. She like, just let me take her out. Let me take her out. I could calm her down if I just, put her on my chest. Just let me take her out. My mom said, no, leave her in the car seat. Then like maybe 5 minutes later, she asked me. She said, "You got your seatbelt on?" I wasn't wearing my seatbelt, so she said, "Boy, put your seatbelt on." Put my seatbelt on. We get on the highway. 5 minutes after that, we get in a 12-car chain reaction on the highway.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
And out of the whole 12 cars that was in the accident, our car was the only car that was totaled, and the only car that they had to cut the roof off to get everybody out.
Wow.
So imagine had my mother not, she just said something told her, we talk about it every now and then. She just said something told her to check to see if I had my seatbelt on. You know what I'm saying? And had it not been for that, I wouldn't be here today. I would have went straight through the windshield. And
did you see your life when that accident happened did you see your life flash before your eyes or?
Nah, I was just scared. I'm just like baffled. I didn't know how to take it, Now the baby really screaming, and it's a whole bunch going on. Police pulling up. You had to use the jaws of life to cut the top off. It was just a lot going on. But that's when I knew, for a fact that this is, everybody have their own beliefs and what it is, whether it's the Bible, the Quran, or whatever whatever religion that you practice or that you follow, it's something out there.
It
is.
You
know what I mean?
It is.
And, obviously we call him God, but, it's just, it's definitely, it's something out there looking over us for sure. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. Most definitely, which is why it always baffles me when I come across people who don't have any belief. I'm like, hey, you know what? It's okay. That's on you. That's how I look at it. That's on you. Now you mentioned
you gotta have some kind of belief.
No, you do. And I think, and that's what, I think when you actually, I think that makes you more successful in life. On top of that, when you actually do have that relationship with God, you can go further in life. You can definitely, God's going to tell you, hey man, don't talk to that girl. And then you're going to see, like, man, what you talking about? Then you're going to see why, oh, okay, cool. I see why you told me God don't talk to that girl. Hey, don't sign that. Okay, I see why. You
I should
know?
have listened. Yeah, and you learn your lessons. You know, you start learning how to listen to that little voice in your head. They say it's your conscience, but I think it's God.
It always
You
is.
know,
It always
so.
is. Do you let me ask you this? Do you have a favorite scripture that you like to go by, or it's anytime that you're feeling like you, I guess, want to get to that quiet place? Or so, do you have a favorite scripture that you go by, or maybe a couple of different scriptures or so?
Well, it's really one main one. My government name is Nam, which is in the Bible. Well, Nahum.
Nahum,
You know,
okay.
my mother calls me Nam. And so my scripture is Nam 1:7, which is the Lord is a stronghold in a time of trouble, and you know He basically looks out for everybody that trusts in Him. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's the one I go to every time.
Okay then. All right then. With the biblical name. I wish my name was kind of biblical. I always like, Mama, you should name me Genesis or Zipporah or something like that. But whenever I have kids, honey, I'm going to name my kids some biblical names. So, I mean, it's okay. I'm going to make up for what my mama didn't make up, you know, with. When you had mentioned earlier about your sister singing, did she try to go in the industry, you know, try to go that route? Or did you try to, like, once you made it, did you say, hey, sis, why don't you come and, you know, be a part of my group or anything? Or you just pretty much just left that alone with her?
Yeah, she did. At one point, she, you know, she dabbled and dabbled. As a matter of fact, she's still performing up to this day. She has a band now that they perform throughout the DMV area. Mm-hmm. But at one point, she was singing background for Crystal Waters.
Okay.
She traveled to Japan and all kind of stuff.
All right, Japan.
And so she did it, and then, you know, of course, you know, when somebody finally makes it, then it's like, yo, bro, da 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 da. And I had to let her know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, ain't much I could do. Like, there's this thing called a window. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's not saying that you'll never make it, or that you can't make it, or it's not your time, but you know, it's an age thing. It's mm-hmm. a window thing that window has closed. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you know, maybe being that released artist with the album and videos isn't what you were meant to do. You know, maybe it's something else in singing. You know, there's a lot of different other ways to perform and write music and be a part of the music industry.
That's true. So,
you know, I just was like, I can't put my name on the line. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I tell my sister all the time, you know, I'll sing you under the table now. You know, when I was a kid, I couldn't, but like now, she can't hold a can of paint to me. I'm cool. You know what I mean?
So word. Okay, it's like that. It's like that.
She can still go. Don't get me wrong. But she ain't me. You know what I mean? And that's my sister. You know? And I tell her to her face. But, you know, it's just, you know, you gotta be real, because it would be me hindering her mm-hmm. by making her feel like I could make this dream that she wanted to happen for her, mm-hmm. knowing that it's not gonna happen how she wants it to happen. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So
I got you.
You know,
of course,
you gotta be real before. It's like sending somebody that American Idol knowing they can't sing, just so you can watch them.
Oh no, of course.
In the auditions, you know what I'm saying?
No, listen, most definitely, of course. You know, it's always comical with American Idol. And speaking of that, after, so you graduated high school. Mm-hmm. Did you try to go to college, or did you just go like straight to, you know, let me go ahead and get my, you know, start going to the studio? Like, how did that end up happening?
Well, before I even graduated from high school, I was already doing like getting into learning the studio and, mm-hmm. and different things of that nature. You know, just learning the business, reading different books about contracts and stuff like that. I'm doing this at 16, 17 years old. Mm-hmm. So when I graduated, I mean, you know, the typical thing was, all right, let me go to college. Mm-hmm. Let me make my mother proud. But at the same time, I'm in my group already. I'm already pursuing this thing. We're performing all over the DMV area. Okay. And so for me, it was just kind of like, now mind you, I was accepted to Clark Atlanta and
okay, I'm CAU. I'm at Clark right now.
Okay, yeah, those was my two choices. Those would be only two schools I applied to, and I got into both of them. Okay, but so I ended up choosing on Clark, and I came to freshman orientation and everything. They gave me my roommate. I talked to my roommate. We talking about, you bring this, I bring that, blah, 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 blah. 2 weeks before school started, I told my mom, I can't do it. Don't want to go. And, she was like, well, you could defer your enrollment or whatever. I was like, all right, cool, that's bet. Because if the music thing don't work out, then I can still go to college. And after that year was up, it was just, I was so deep into it that I just decided not to go. Now, mind you, I got an old school mama, so she said, I don't care what you do as long as you got a job. So, I had my jobs, by the way, with an S. I had a full-time job and a part-time job. And then in the midst of all that, I'm still recording and stuff with my group, and, we're doing that thing. So, I thought school was going to be the avenue for me, but I also knew that I hated school. You know what I mean? School wasn't my thing. I hated high school. Hated elementary school. I hated all forms of school.
I'm just I'm right with you.
School was boring to me. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, I graduated from high school with 29 credits. You know what I'm saying? I graduated with an advanced studies diploma. So it wasn't that I just didn't have the know-how or couldn't do it. I was like, man, I'm about to go to school. Mind you, okay, backtrack. Freshman orientation was the first time I ever got drunk.
Okay.
Now, mind you, at freshman orientation, your parents are there.
Okay.
We had a lot of family in Atlanta, so my mom went. She was like, oh, that's perfect. He going to Atlanta. Her mom was here. I had some aunts and uncles here. So she's staying over there with my grandmother for the night. They had the little freshman orientation party. Got drunk. Messing with some folks from New York. And I got home and was just like, yo, I can't go to school. I'm like, it ain't like I'm getting scholarships or nothing like that. We about to be on financial aid. I'm not about to go to school and have my mama spending all this money or have my credit locked up for years and years, knowing I already don't even really want to go. I don't want to do the work.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? I was going to major in music, but I'm like, I don't need a degree in music to do what I want to do.
Of course.
So, yeah, so I just decided not to go.
Look, you doing a lot better than me, because my major is mass communications, radio, television, and film, and I'm like, well, I really don't even need to.
You don't need it, but you do.
Yeah. You don't. With how social media is now, it's easy to go viral, and you can just be on these different platforms.
Well, yeah. Before then, you needed it.
I was gonna say, yeah. Before.
Not so much.
Listen. I got. My generation has a lot better than your generation. Like it's easier to do different things. So I know y'all like thinking like, man, y'all really got us beat, even including like with technology and phones, like the flip phone and everything. Like it took you like 20 minutes just to type out 5 words. So listen, it's everything is definitely.
I had the 2-way. I wasn't having it.
I
didn't do it.
Okay, hold on. All right.
2-way.
Real quick question: Do you remember your very first cell phone number when you finally got your cell phone? Do you remember your very first cell phone number?
I want to say it was like 703-568-81 something.
Hey, you should call it. You should call it. Just say, hey.
It was something like that.
You should call it. I've only had like this 2 phone numbers in my life, so I don't try to change my number, because I'm like, in case somebody calls me, in case they calling from jail, they're like, hey Kendra, what's up? I'm like, oh shoot, I remember you from high school. What you doing in jail? So stuff like that. I always keep my same phone number. Why not, right? So
I ain't mad at that.
So as far as with your group, the group that you got, these were people that you went to high school with, or were these people like in your neighborhood, or how'd you form your group, and what was the group name?
High school. Well, so I formed my group through a few different types of relationships. So when I was in school, I was never the athlete or nothing like that. I always was in like the arts programs. Like I actually I went to 3 different high schools. My first high school, they already had their arts programs in line, and so I just got accustomed to having that option in school. So then that was an all-black high school, so they have those kind of options for you to do with after-school programs. And so then after that, I ended up going to 2 different other high schools, which were kind of like, one was kind of like half white, half black, and the other one was kind of like really just kind of all over the place racially. So, gotcha. But neither one of these schools had after-school programs for performers. They had the basketball teams, they had the drama, they had all of that. but they didn't have any kind of like modeling, rapping, singing, no kind of music after school program. So for a lot of through school, I was in chorus. So one of the guys in my group, I met at district chorus. He went to a whole different high school. And I met him in district chorus, and then we had mutual friends outside of school, which is how we ended up linking back up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other two guys just, they came and became part of, my after school programs. And Bubba, get out of here with your snoring. They came and so for the after school programs, and we just formed a group throughout what we were doing within those after school programs. You know what I'm saying? So
most definitely.
Get out of here. He didn't yank my headphones out. I'm sorry. My dog is a little crazy.
It's okay.
He's an old man and he doesn't hear very well anymore.
How did you get your dog?
It was a gift. It was a gift a long time ago. He about 14 now. He'll be 15 next year.
Was this your first pet?
Nah, this is my first personal pet, yeah. But this isn't the first pet that I've ever had, like, within my household.
Got it.
But yeah, so they just became a part of my thing. And when I say my thing, it's just because I was always the one pushing people to do it. And whenever they thought they couldn't do it, it's like, no, we could do it. We became one of the best groups in the DMV area, battling all the groups, going to all the talent shows or all the the cabarets and all those kind of events, and we was just shutting it down. And we had a few names. One of our names was our original name was Takir, which stood for Talented and Keeping It Real.
Okay.
I came up with that, and then I realized how dumb of a name it was because B2K came out. And what's so weird is everybody in B2K had very similar names to what our names were in our group. Mm-hmm. So we was like, oh, nah, we can't have similar names and then have this corny group name. So I said, we got to come up with a better name.
Gotcha.
So then we just ended up choosing one of the major highways in DC, which is 295. So that's how we came up with the name 295. Well, that's how I came up with the name 295.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Put some credit on you. Okay. You the original. You founded that. Okay. When it came with, because I know sometimes when you have a group, of course you're gonna have your issues. Like some people might start off with they're on fire. They want to show up to practice and start doing different things, and then as time progressed, life happens. After you were, you say you were going to work, trying to go to the studio. Did you actually have your group members say, okay, we're gonna meet on these days, we all gonna go in the studio together? Or did it like you start having some major issues and you just said, I'm gonna just ride this thing solo?
No, it happened like that, but not in that sense. Like before we got to Atlanta, we were 100. Everybody knew what it was. Me and the guy that I said I met in district chorus, we were the forefront of making the music, recording the music. He played like 15 different instruments. I was writing, and we had the Pro Tools at our house. He was my roommate, so we had the Pro Tools at our house. So 9 times out of 10, me and him would always just be working on music. And if it came down to a time where we had a song that we were ready for the group to do, we would just have everybody come in and do their parts. That's how we did it before we got to Atlanta. And then when we got to Atlanta, we all moved down, left our whole life behind and moved down. Now we're all living in the same house. We ain't all never lived together besides me and my roommate. And it became time of between being broke and being stuck in a house, cabin fever, and then just going to the studio. And I didn't realize at the time that I was grooming myself and the people around me were grooming me to be a solo artist. I mean, I knew that everybody wanted me to go solo, but I was like, I'm not leaving my group. But when we were in the studio, I was on, 80, 90, 80, I'm not even going to say 90, 80, 85% of the songs, and then they would come in and do the backgrounds, hook, stuff like that, a couple ad-libs. But, I was always first verse, second verse, main note in the hook, main note in the bridge, stuff like that. So I'm doing most of the work. So after we exhausted all of our options as far as ways to get deals and labels that we could sit in front of, at that time, I felt if we had a conversation with our manager was like, y'all have to record a new demo.
Mm-hmm.
And instantly in my mind, I said, I can't do this for another 8-9 songs. Like, if I'm gonna do this for another 8-9 songs, then I might as well be doing it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had one more meeting come up that was supposed to happen. That didn't happen, but when we got word of it happening, which was supposed to be with Jermaine Dupri and So Def, I sat them down and I said, we sat in front of everybody. This is our last chance. If we don't get the deal with Jermaine Dupri, I gotta try this on my own. You know, I can't keep just being the one in the studio. Everybody over there playing PlayStation, and I'm in there killing myself in the studio trying to make sure that our songs as a group is right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so lo and behold, the meeting never happened. You know, and so it wasn't just like, man, I'm sick of y'all, I'm out. I had the conversation with them. So when, you know, the meeting just didn't happen, you know, they knew that it was time for everybody to figure out what they was gonna do. You know, and the same guy that was my roommate, he stayed in Atlanta. I stayed in Atlanta. Everybody else went home. And well, at the time it was just 3 of us. So the last guy, Dion, he went home. And to this day, you know, me and PJ, that's his name, we still good. He actually found his niche in the industry.
Good.
He's
good.
A dope engineer. He's engineering for the best. You know, he's done stuff. He's mixed and stuff with Bow Wow, Bobby V, worked with countless different producers and writers. And at the moment, he's one of Shantae Moore's band members. So, I mean, he's good. You know what I mean? Like I said, he played 15 different instruments. So we kind of knew that that's where he would thrive the best anyway. So, yeah, I mean, we good now. You know.
Well, yeah, so, you know, no love lost, and I learned a long time ago, even if, you know, people got their differences, I mean, if it's meant to be, as far as with real friendship, it's not gonna die. It's gonna be there, and you know what, and they understood what time it was, you know. So, and maybe, you know, everything happens for a reason. That's also the good thing about that. So, once you decided to go solo, how did we transition to, you know? Because I know when it comes with albums, if it's released, like I think Back of My Life was released October 2007, but I feel like you were recording it, 2005, maybe 2006, or was it a little bit earlier than that?
I mean, we could go as early as when I was in the group. So Fatal, fun fact about the album, and if you go and look at the credits on the song, you know, on the insert, Fatal was actually the only song that I kept from my group. So it'll show you I never changed anything about the song, but it'll show you how much work I was putting in when I was in the group, because you can't tell that it's a group song. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Every part that's on that song was how we sold it when we were in the group. So that's the only song that I actually kept from my group. And I said, I need to keep this song because I need to show them that it was never about me leaving them. It was just about me taking care of what I needed to take care of, which was my mom and my dream. You know, just because we all had the dream of being famous. Well, some had the dream of being famous. Some had the dream of being respected. You know, everybody's dream is different, you know. So I kept that song. So I can go as far as back as that. And then definitely, most of it started in 2005, because that's when, you know, the group basically kind of disbanded around late 2004. And then 2005, I was just kind of trying to find my sound and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, just as far as how I wanted to sound as a solo artist. And so you got 2005, you got 2006, and then, you know, a little bit of 2007. I think the only thing we recorded in 2007 was Bed.
And who was the very first record label that got you signed to?
Capitol Records.
Okay. And were they the first choice, or you had other different record companies coming after you saying, "Hey, I want you," or how'd that go about?
Honestly, we just I think we had a few meeting set up. Mm-hmm. Capitol Records was the first one that I took. Mm-hmm. And so I went to LA for, it was supposed to be for, I think a day or two. Mm-hmm. And I ended up being there for a week because they said we don't want him to leave before he signs the deal. So by the time I landed back in Atlanta, my advancement check was in the mail. You know, so yeah, you know, and I mean it was cool. You know, I have lifelong friends that I've met in LA and just, you know, throughout my journey. But yeah, Capitol Records, that was where I was at. And, you know, I was happy to be over there because they had the Bodyguard soundtrack that went diamond. They had Garth Brooks, which was their biggest selling artist, and Coldplay, you know. So I was happy to be amongst that roster of people.
Look, that was like just definitely a surreal feeling. And take me back to that day when you finally heard yourself on the radio. You had that viral moment. What happened that day? You wake up in the morning, did you have somebody call you, or did you just happen to say, let me just turn on the radio real quick? Like, what happened that day when you heard yourself on the radio?
You know, it's so ironic, me being from DC. I was in DC for something. And you know, when you're an artist and you're going to a certain city, you know, and you're going to a certain radio station, they play your record or whatever. Mm-hmm. But we just out there riding. I don't think my interview was supposed to be with this specific radio station for like another couple days. So we were just out there a couple days early trying to see family and stuff like that. And we was riding, and my manager got a phone call. And he was like, for real? Turned to the radio station, and the song was playing. and Bev was playing. And it was just like, oh, shit, we made it. Like, we made it. And to hear it at home, where I was from, you know what I mean? I didn't hear it, you know, in some weird town that I was just on a promo run for, nothing like that. I actually heard it at home where I was born and raised, you know? So, yeah, it was just like, yo, I made it. You know, I mean, I didn't cry or anything, but it was a moment. You know, I think I probably went and got a couple bottles and a couple bags of weed and celebrated. I'm pretty sure I did that.
It's only right. It's all you had. You couldn't listen. You're like I no longer can smoke mid. I can smoke that premium 93.
Smoke the blah, boy. It got to be the thing now. You know what I mean? Well, I could spend this little, and now you got to remember, at the time I'm still not making no money, but I'm on the radio.
Really, I didn't know that.
I'm not on tour yet, and the album's not out yet. This is before October.
Okay.
Yeah, this is before October. The album's not out yet. I'm not on tour yet, and the advancement, I blew that in 6 months. I
was just about to ask it. I'm like, okay, so I thought you. Okay, so what I was thinking, and you know, I'm not too. You got to kind of school me, and what you're doing is schooling me right now. I thought that once you had your song on the radio, that's when, okay, now I got that $2 million. I didn't know that you still weren't getting paid. Like, so was it still like, okay, well...
No, sir. It just depends on what deal you signed. And the deal I signed at the time was, man, he's green. He doesn't know. Mm-hmm. So you got to think, you got a ignorant artist. Well, I wasn't ignorant to the business, but I was ignorant to the fact that I thought that at that time, people had my best interest at heart. Mm-hmm. You know, it had nothing to do with my manager, but then, you know, you get down the line and you realize, oh, your manager had a whole little side deal with this person. Okay. So, you know, I mean, my advancement wasn't a lot. I think at the time it was like maybe $25,000 or something like
really?
That. Like, you know, yeah, you gotta think. I'm not even in it for the money. You know what I'm saying? I made more than $25,000 a year before I moved to Atlanta with my group. I had 2 jobs.
Gotcha.
I had a federal job and I had a part-time job at the mall. You know what I'm saying? So I'm already making money. I got 2 cars. So mentally, it's just like, I got some money again. All right, cool. Because I already knew, well, I already assumed that the touring was going to come, the album was going to come out, it was going to do great, I was going to be good, which is actually what happened. But it could have went the other way. You know what I'm saying? It really could have gone the other way. And yeah, so that $25,000, I blew that in the strip club. That was gone.
Wait, which strip club did you go to? You gotta shout your first strip club out. Which one was it?
Come on, man. What they say? Welcome to Atlanta, Magic City Monday.
I was hoping you were gonna say that, but it could have been the Flame. It could have been Onyx, Cheetahs, or some hole in the wall strip club. I don't know, you know. So
quiet as kept. My first strip club night was at Magic City when the building was filled with BMF.
Oh shoot! This is real throwback. Hold up now, this real throwback.
Real talk.
Let me find out you used to run with Hold on, let me find out. Go ahead now.
I never said I ran with them.
Nah, I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing with you.
Nah, man. Shouts out to all of them, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, free them. Free them.
It is what it is. You know, you can't agree with everything everybody does, but when something is done and it's in a very shady way, you know, you can't agree with that. You know, everybody got to take whatever lumps they get, but not when it's done, you know, maliciously or shady. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. Well, look. Hopefully that. Beach, you know what I mean? Listen. Hopefully that night you kept it playing and you didn't fall in love with no stripper, because you know those women are good, right? You know that. They listen.
Oh, nah.
They will.
I saw somebody get beat up that night. I was not thinking about none of them strippers.
Wait.
Oh, they threw me head first. Head first into the game. I'm with my group.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like they came out to party with me, and it was yeah.
Somebody got mollywopped in the club.
Yeah, the first time I went, I was with my group. They took the group. Now you got to mind you. After this, I'm not with the group no more. Now I got the money. I go back to the club. Now I'm by myself. You know, that's where I meet a few people that are still influential in my team and my circle. And, you know, I mean, it happens. And, you know, that was a part of my life that, I mean, I'm not going to be like, I regret it. And, nothing bad came out of it other than me looking back like, man, I blew that money. You know what I mean? Other than that, you know, it was cool.
I mean, it's okay. You live and you learn what you can do. And what you're doing is, anybody out there who is an up-and-coming artist and who gets that same little advancement check, you let them know, hey, man, be smart with it. You know, make sure. Now, when it came with actually picking your manager, how did you know which manager to pick? I'm sure, you know, Craigslist was not like, you know, back then, you know, wasn't out there back then. So how did it come with picking a manager? How did you know which manager to, you know?
Well, the manager that I had, Corey Green, at the time, he was from DC, and he used to be in a group called Absolute. And they never even had a chance to put out a first album because of, you know, differences within the group that he had going on. It was a duo, actually, between him and the guy he was in the group with, and just different industry, you know, people trying to pull people away from each other and stuff like that. You know, they never had a chance to come out with an album, but he had all of the same connections. So he came home, found us, and introduced us to everybody he knew, and that's how we got to Atlanta. You know, so I didn't necessarily have to pick him. He picked us. And what's so funny, let me tell you about Guy. Let's go back to Guy, right?
Okay.
The guy that went home after everything fell apart is the guy that introduced us to the manager, because they had the same job.
Wow.
They were working at the same place. And he kept saying, man, I got this group. So finally, my manager listened to him and was like, oh, all right, let me come see y'all. You know, let me see what they look like. Let me see what they sound like. And he came and saw us, and, you know, the rest is history as far as the group is concerned. But, yeah, like, that's when you can say that was a God situation. Like, there's no other way that it could have happened to where I become Jay Holiday and I'm now on this interview with you. That never happens if they never put their album out. He don't go back home, get a job, works with the member that's in my group, that ends up being the one that goes back home after everything falls apart. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, everything happens for a reason.
It does.
Sometimes people they're not okay with the part that they have to play in it, but, you know, sometimes your part that you played is the part that you played. And I always up my group, and I always speak on them, and I don't never say we had any bad blood or nothing like that. Of course, we argue, but none of those arguments were the cause of us disbanding. You know what I mean?
No, and that's actually real, you know, and I definitely, you know, this is you never know how God works, man. I'm telling you, man. Y'all listen. Anybody out there listening? Y'all better find God. I'm not talking about that tree that you worship or a Sphinx cat, a real God. Okay, so you can have a success story like this individual right here. Okay.
Yeah. Saint Nick ain't it?
That's it. I wanna go ahead, you know, kind of do a little wrapping it up with the little fast, fun, you know, probably about 5 to 10 questionnaire, you know, fun questions that you can ask, something that, you know, your fans and anybody out there can just get to know you better by. All right, first question is, what is the craziest fan experience you've had thus far?
Craziest fan experience?
Yeah, fan.
It'd probably have to be a fan/groupie experience. Met this girl at a show. We ended up kicking it for a little bit. This is out in New York. And, you know, so we ended up kicking it, blah, blah, blah. So then I'm like, all right, she cool. She could come out with me, blah, blah, blah. So I take her to one event. First event, one event. Never saw her again after this, by the way. Took her to one event. She gets so drunk, right, that we waiting outside the hotel for my because me, her, and my manager and my bodyguard were in 2 different cars. So my bodyguard rode with my manager because he was like, nah, just go ahead and ride with her. We're right behind you. So we waiting for them to come to the hotel. I look down and there's a complete total puddle of pee around her feet.
Oh!
Mind you, she didn't say I gotta pee, nothing. It's just pee. I said, babe, you know you peed on yourself? She's like, yeah, I know.
What?
I was like, what? I could never in my life see you ever again.
What?
Ever.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. To that young lady, I feel like you're going to listen to this interview one day because I feel like she sounds like a stalker in a sense. So she probably still Googles your name and does interviews. Please, I hope you got help and I hope you got, you know, went to AA or something. I don't know. All right.
That's before I knew what was going on in the industry and what to do and not to do. Yeah, that was a bad decision on my part.
It's okay. So, would you like to, I don't know if you want to share it, you know, would you like to share a couple of things, what to do in the industry, is one of them not to take random strangers home be a little bit more eerie or more conscious of?
Well, back then, it was safe. Okay. Like, it wasn't like I felt like anything was wrong with her or she was after me or nothing like that. She was a really nice person. I just felt like, you know, when you're in the industry and you're at these parties, the liquor access is a little different than if you're just going to the club with your homegirls or your homeboys. You know, y'all kind of divvying it up and y'all drink what y'all can afford. When you are artists, it's free bottles is you know, you can kind of drink as long as you want to drink. And so I think that's kind of what happened with her. And, you know, so I don't feel bad about that. But now I would definitely say be very careful of who you decide to let that close to you. You know, being it's social media or
of course.
Envious people or somebody that may not have your best interests. You know, they might be trying to, you know, get something from you or out of you or come up off of you or whatever, you know what I mean? So definitely just be very careful and watchful of who you allow that close to you.
Most definitely. That's words of wisdom, y'all. Second question, what is your favorite, like your go-to meal? Like, everybody loves you to cook this meal. Like, what is the go-to one for you?
No, for me to cook?
Yeah, for you to cook. Yeah, like, what's your favorite meal to cook? Like, that go-to meal that people love.
I was about to say, anything I cook. What you talking about? I'm a chef.
Oh, hold on. Let me find out. We're going to have a chef or a cook-off then. Okay, we're going to see about that. Okay.
Me and my mom about to put out a cookbook and everything. But nah, my favorite meal in general is spaghetti. So, I'm not even gonna say that's my best meal, but I've definitely got the compliments of, oh man, this is like, I don't know who can really mess up spaghetti, but my spaghetti is a little it's 5-star spaghetti. You know what I mean? It's not like 2-star spaghetti.
It's 5 stars.
It's not like Olive Garden. You know what I mean? And Olive Garden is good, but
yours is better. Oh, you better put them. Okay, all right. Let me find out. All right. If you weren't singing, what's another passion of yours that you say, okay, I can do this type of career, or was it singing always the main goal to be this successful singer that you are?
If I wasn't singing, I'd probably be an FBI agent.
Okay, so you can find out who actually killed Tupac. Thank you. I'm trying to figure it out.
You know what I'm saying? I'd have pushed the case forward. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Nah, I only say that because I like investigative type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I know people be like, "Oh man, he want to be a cop." Like, bro, like everybody gotta stop saying the cop. All cops are bad. Like, first of all, FBI ain't cops.
Mm-hmm.
They're federal agents. Big difference.
Mm-hmm.
But. Yeah, I like investigative stuff, you know what I'm saying, or homicide detective or something like that. I like figuring out puzzles. I'm a big puzzle man.
Okay.
I don't like any puzzle to stump me, So yeah, it would be something like that.
Okay. All right, I got 2 more questions and then we can skedaddle. All right. It's a random one that just popped in my head. What is your favorite body part on a woman? Favorite. Just
Lips.
like okay. All right.
I don't gotta think long about that. Yeah, lips.
Okay.
If you can't love somebody's lips, you shouldn't be with them. You gotta look at that. They gotta talk to you with that. They gotta, it's a lot that goes on with the lips.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You could. Everybody like the ass, ditties, nah. That just means you're shallow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
call them out.
Lips.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Call them out.
I don't want no Sarah Palin lips. You know what I'm saying? They can't be none of them joints. They got to be like
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. They got to because I didn't want to make it racial, but you know what I'm saying.
Of course,
I'm glad you picked the white lady. I was like,
no, Angelina. Look, Angelina. She's fine now. Okay, no homo. Yeah. She's fine now. She's fine.
She got them good African American lips. You know what I mean?
That's it. All right, last question. All right.
Move.
What is? It's okay. It's all right. Give me your top 5 favorite rappers of all time. Exclude Tupac, Biggie, and Jay-Z in no particular order.
Dang, you can't just exclude Tupac.
I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why because that's everybody's top 5.
Biggie ain't on my list. But...
Okay, let's add a 6 man. Put Tupac in there. Add a 6 man. Give me a top 6. Go ahead.
Okay, top 6. And it's in no particular order. I'm gonna just call them off as I think about it. J. Cole,
mm-hmm.
Kendrick Lamar,
mm-hmm.
put them out there first. Like I love what they're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I already said Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say, now I was a big Goody Mob fan.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite member of Goody Mob was CeeLo Green.
Okay.
And it's not just because he sings. I mean, that's part of the reason.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go back and listen to Goody Mob, amazing metaphors, amazing lyrics. And if I had to pick one more, it would have to be, who would be number 6? Not number 6 on the list, but just my 6th favorite rapper. It would have to be. This is a hard one because there's so many people that I will listen to. But rap wise, when you say the best, and it ain't gonna be nobody from now. I'm trying to think. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Nas, Eminem, Big L.
That's what I'm saying. I love all of them. I love Nas. I love Eminem, but I feel like it's the person that I'm not thinking about right now that I would
Scarface.
No, not even Scarface. Big fan of his too.
Big Daddy Kane.
No, I didn't mean to say it like that, but
I don't.
Well, no, that wasn't it. Oh man, hold on. It's coming to me. It's coming to me. You know what? I will. You know what I will say? I will say I'll put Nas in there.
Okay, cool.
And the
Cool.
reason why I'll put Nas in there is because out of all of the rap artists that I've ever listened to, even though Tupac was my favorite, up until I stopped buying albums,
Mm-hmm.
I had every single Nas album.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one, including The Firm and all of that.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, this ends our interview. Thank you so much for, I thank you and your dog. Your dog made a special appearance without, needing to, just decide to come on. And I like your dog. Thank you so much for being unapologetic. Thank you for just speaking to the audience, letting them know you bringing back real R&B. All right, listen, y'all. Need y'all go get his album, okay? I need y'all support this man. I need y'all to run it up. Okay, he's nice, man. Y'all see him in person. Just go show him some love. Let him know what time it is. All right, That's all you gotta do. All right, and we're signing out. Thank you all, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't. Hope you catch a Charlie horse. That's all I gotta say. All right.